Saludos amigos, KASH, President and CEO of KASH International Luxury Real Estate. Guys, how are you doing? Hope all is well. Coming to you today from the beautiful Dominican Republic. Guys, it is one heck of a time to be here. I'm in January right now, and the weather is a perfect, it's probably like 82 degrees out there. The sun is shining, as you can see, and it is just spectacular. Unfortunately, as you know, I've been going back and forth. I have a lot of business happening in Canada right now, so I'm going back and forth between the Dominican Republic and Canada. And guys, this is one of the things I say to you all the time. This is one of the reasons why I love where I live, because it allows me to be here, 82 degrees, perfectly sunny skies, beautiful beaches, enjoy the pool, play some golf, do tennis, whatever it is that you want to do, you can do that. And guess what? It's only 4 hours away. Then I'm back in Canada, freezing my ass off. It's 21, I think it's minus 21. We're setting records in Windsor right now. That is insane to know that. But what's even more insane to me to know is that you have the ability to hop on a plane. We have direct flights from Windsor right now, guys. So I'm speaking to you, Windsorites. You have direct flights from Windsor direct to Punta Cana International Airport. I've seen so many clients on those flights when I've taken them. Every Friday, okay, you can go back and forth. I've bought flights as cheap as $300 Canadian, one way, okay? So there's no excuse. There's no excuse not to invest in the Dominican Republic, because guess what, guys? Florida is done. You guys aren't doing it anymore. They're changing all the immigration laws. They're making it just unfavorable for you guys to invest in Florida. So why are you still chasing that tail in a circle? Because guys, as of right now, that's not the spot to be. The spot to be is right here behind me, the Dominican Republic. Direct flights, nice and easy. You can find cheap flights. Some people are paying a little bit more, but guys, end of the day, that freedom that affords you to have real estate here and to be able to get away from that ice cold weather. Right now, I have my grandparents, not my grandparents, basically like my grandparents. My wife's grandparents are here, and they are just loving life right now. Okay, they're in their 90s, and they actually, and they're very conservative. Okay, they're very conservative, very intelligent people. Especially my wife's grandfather. We refer to him as Pepe. He is just blown away. He has never visited. He wanted to make this one of his trips on his agenda to make sure he comes here before, as he gets older, maybe unable to travel. He fell in love with this place. He's actually talking about it and saying, hey, how does it work? How would I rent? So I'm like, wow, I can't believe. And that was the last thing that I expected from him. But that's how much he is seeing the difference between living there in Windsor, okay, where he's lived his whole life, and us living here and seeing what the world that's open to us, seeing how we have assistance in our personal life from our beautiful family member, Mariella. Okay, she's part of our family here. She helps cook, clean, do everything. But it's not that she's working for us. She's part of the family. She does her end, we do our end, and it flows. And she's been with us for almost 3-4 years now. Okay, so when he's seeing this, he's blown away when he gets up in the morning and breakfast is ready. Before he even gets back to his room, his bed is made, laundry's done. These are the type of things that you guys just don't fully understand. You hear me talk about it, but you don't understand it until you come here, okay? Until you see it in real world life applications. And that is a game changer, especially for you seniors, guys. Please reach out to us if you just want to chat about it. You want to understand it. How does this work? How much does it cost to have someone on board, to have someone that's with you 8 hours a day, 6 days a week, helping cook, clean, get the things done that you need to get done as you age. And those things become very, very challenging. And if you're going to get that kind of care back in Canada, guys, guess what? You're going to have to check yourself in to a retirement home or assisted living. And we know you guys don't want to do that. So many of you just don't want to do it. That's absolute last resort. And unfortunately, as a last resort, it's also so damn expensive, okay? So damn expensive, and it's full with that North American mindset. You're not getting that love and care that you're getting from the Dominicans over here in the Dominican Republic, okay? So that's just something cool. I want to share that story with you. What I'm going to be talking about today in today's video is the fact that you guys have options, okay? Don't feel this is reserved for the millionaires, okay? Or people that are making $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year. That is a fallacy. That is just, wipe that out of your mind. Wipe out of your mind that you think this is reserved only for people that have, they've retired, or they got a lot of extra income, or, they're able to fly, or they're able to try. These kind of things are just excuses that you're pumping yourself with. And I'm going to be going through a bunch of excuses that people have out there that I've heard, and the actual reality behind it. So keep your eyes and ears open for that video. But what we're going to be doing today is presenting you an option that is a real option for investors that are looking for a passive income play, okay? Investors that are looking for a spot that they can come 2, 3, 4 weeks a year and escape that January weather that you guys are going through right now. What I'm talking about today, guys, is the CITY Las Terrenas. Guys, this is being done by one of my favorite developers, and I've worked with so many of them. There's some I love, and guys, I have to be honest, there's some I just cannot stand because they don't execute on what they say. They're always changing their mind. They're always trying to pull a fast one on my investors, and I don't have that for you guys, okay? So, guys, this is one that is just phenomenal. He's amazing. He's done multiple projects within Las Terrenas. He dials into that market. He knows it. He lives there. He actually lives very close to where the project is going. Okay, he has a great team behind him, and he has a strong legal team that is supporting the project as well, that is making sure they cross all T's, dot all I's. So all aspects are there. The other thing that's really good about it, guys, is that the price, okay, the price point. Under 200K, starting at 185, we're able to get you a 1-bedroom, fully furnished, Confiture approved, meaning tax-free, no property tax for 15 years, no 3% land transfer tax. All of these things are in place with this project. And the important part, guys, it's beachfront. Okay, you can see right behind me how stunning that looks. It is just unbelievable. And you know what I really appreciate, and that's kind of why I went on that rant there, is I appreciate it because I'm going back and forth to Canada. This is my reality. Behind you is my reality, okay? And that's the reality of so many other people that live here now that have decided to call this place home all or most of the year, okay? That is our reality. So what is a great reality check for me is when I get off that plane in Windsor and I feel that I'm going to die if I stay outside longer than a few minutes, okay? And that's what it's going to be like over the next few weeks over there in Windsor. Minus 21, record-setting, freezing temps, okay? So I am really thankful that thankful that I am able to go back and forth. I'm thankful that I'm able to be here, but I'm even more thankful that I'm able to share this with you in real time, okay? Very, very important. So let's get back to the city and let's talk about that. We've got Oceanfront, you got Oceanfront access, you've got restaurants there, you're gonna have rooftop pool, rooftop restaurant. These are really top tier amenities for Las Terrenas. Okay, Las Terrenas in itself, let's talk about that a little bit. What I keep saying to everyone, explain to you guys, Las Terrenas right now is going through some growing pains. What does that mean? Does that mean don't invest? Absolutely not. It doesn't mean don't invest. It means invest. It's actually the inverse of it. Why do I say invest now in Las Terrenas? Because, guys, what Las Terrenas has planned, the infrastructure, the amount of money that is being dumped into Las Terrenas by the government, okay, the federal government, recognizes the Dominican Republic as, this is where we want to invest. They recognize the importance of tourism. They recognize how important it is for you North Americans to choose the Dominican Republic. That being said, they also recognize specific markets in the Dominican Republic. One that I dial into specifically, and this is where it all began for me, is Las Terrenas. So they're dumping a ton of money into the infrastructure. If you visit, the infrastructure needs to be updated. What infrastructure doesn't? Like back home, streets are being redone, infrastructure is being upgraded, fiber optics being put in. That's what's happening in Las Terrenas right now as we speak, okay? They're widening some roads. They're opening certain areas for more commercial, big box retailers. Whether you like big box retailers or not, guys, you cannot tell me that that doesn't enhance the convenience of your lifestyle, okay? When you need to hop in a car and you got to pick up some screws because you're doing some work at your house, you're building a table, you're able to do that. You're able to run around and get things done. You're able to go to one location and buy your groceries, buy your supplies, buy furnishings, do all that stuff that you need to do. And that's what Las Terrenas is happening. That's inevitable. Okay, that's what's going to happen in a market that's growing. So we have, Las Terrenas coming over there, amazing grocery store. We have Jumbo coming, that's like a department store. These things are all opening up within the next year. With that comes the enhanced infrastructure. So what you're going to see in Las Terrenas, and this is what I'm saying, is some growing pains. You're seeing the market really catapulted when it got discovered because of people like myself that brought it out into the forefront and showed you guys it's livable. Okay, I spent two and a half years there. I still have a ton of real estate there. I have commercial properties. All these things are top tier investments for me, and they are long-term investments. Okay, I'm hanging on to these because I know what's going to happen there. So it's a great time to invest in Las Terrenas right now, because what's going to happen, especially a project like this, because this one is slated for 3 years out. Why is that important to a lot of people that reach out to me? They are not ready today to live in it, to use it. They're kind of crossing those T's, dotting those I's for themselves back home, and closing out like RRSPs, different retirement funds, making sure that they hit their benchmarks as far as retirement years go, how long they're supposed to work. But a lot of these things are coming due in the next 5 years for a lot of these people, so they're going to be ready to pull that trigger. Not pull the trigger. They're going to be ready to leave. Okay, whether it's for a month a year, 6 months a year, or permanently. So what they're doing right now is they're securing today's prices in properties that fit what they are looking for, okay? And this one is great for you investors that want to have that passive income. You want to move here. Maybe you want to live over here in Cap Cana. That's where I'm at right now. Maybe you want to live in Punta Cana. Maybe you want to live in Vista Cana. But Las Terrenas, what's undeniable and cannot be taken away from Las Terrenas throughout all of it, okay, because I'm an advocate for all of them, all totally different. And that's what I love about what we do that no one else does, is Las Terrenas is where people want to vacation. They want those crystal clear beaches. They want the lush landscape. They want the mountains. They want all of these things. And that's never going to change. And what's even more beautiful about it, guys, it's not just you North Americans that are watching my videos that want it. Internally within the Dominican Republic, okay, there's a ton of wealth. And I've showed you guys over and over and over. One of my good friends, Jamie, he puts out some really, really cool content for you guys where he explains that, in Santiago they're doing that amazing train station. You can't even compare what they're doing in Santiago to what we're doing in Windsor. It is two different levels. It's two different planets. So don't feel when you go to an all-inclusive that is, when I say the Dominican people, don't think that that's all it is. Of course, the service industry is growing. It's like going to a restaurant in Windsor, Ontario, and thinking everybody just works in a restaurant and that's the economy. Guys, someone owns that restaurant. Someone built the road that you're driving on to get to that restaurant. Somebody owns a factory that puts together those cars that you're driving in to get there. Okay, these things you got to keep in mind. So don't be naive when you look at the Dominican Republic and microcosm it into saying the all-inclusive resort, the person that served you that beer, that is cleaning that buffet, that is what KASH is saying the Dominicans are coming to. The national economy, the people that live in the country are coming to Las Terrenas. No, guys, there's a ton of wealth here. People are doing so well for themselves. GDP growth is through the roof. Emerging middle class. All of these things are culminating into the people that are at the top of the food chain are doing so well for themselves, and the people that are top of the food chain within these companies are doing really, really well for themselves. Okay, so money is flowing. So when I say we have a national tourism market that is huge, I mean that. And these people are driving to Las Terrenas from Santiago. They're driving to Las Terrenas from Santo Domingo. They're getting out there and they are enjoying Las Terrenas because it is one of the most, if not the most beautiful spot in the Dominican Republic. All right. One thing, many of you know that reach out to me, people always ask me Las Terrenas or Miches. Guys, I'm Las Terrenas all day long. Miches is amazing. I've done some videos there. I just don't think it's tailor-made for you guys. I think if you are in that world and you're looking for that kind of lifestyle, guys, go Las Terrenas. I'm more bullish on it because we're already in that phase of improving infrastructure. Big box retailers are coming. It's being taken notice. You got 24 kilometers of beach that you can walk and be on. The key thing for me here, guys, is that what I like about Las Terrenas versus Miches, okay, and by no means by downplaying Miches, I'm just my observation of it, is you have more opportunity to own real estate that is either seeing the ocean or on the ocean or across the street from the ocean, which is equal as living on the ocean very often in Las Terrenas. What I'm seeing is in announcement after announcement, big, massive, all-inclusive hotels are coming into Miches. Now, when I went there, we loved it. We stayed at Club Med, and it was awesome. The beaches are great. Are they better than Las Terrenas? I can't say they are. Is it comparable? Yes, absolutely comparable. Better? No. Comparable? Yes. But what I'm seeing is it is being, and the key beachfront areas are all spoken for, and it is all massive, multinational companies, multinational, all-inclusive resorts that are coming in. So for you, everyday investor that's looking to get in there and enjoy that slice of paradise, you're not going to be able to enjoy it the same way you're going to be able to do it in Las Terrenas, okay? So keep that in mind when we are talking about that comparison, when you guys reach out. I just don't think it's the same. If you're going to be in Miches, guys, I say, play it safe, hedge your bets, and let's stay. Don't believe you're going to go to Miches and you have found this hidden gem and it's like a penny stock. It's not a penny stock. The biggest players in the world, like Malia Resorts, they are partnering with Punta Cana Group, and they're going to be announcing here in Fitur. There's a big convention that happens for tourism and real estate in Madrid, Spain. Guys, there's no secret about Miches right now. So what that says is you're late to that party. Okay, can you have some gains? Sure, maybe, I don't know, possibly, but you're late to that party. So don't look at it as a get-rich-quick scheme, because that's not what it is. If you're here for the beaches, it's all about Las Terrenas. If you're here for that kind of bohemian lifestyle, it's all about Las Terrenas. Don't confuse yourselves. My advice. All right, I'm not saying I'm always right, but I've been right quite a bit. So on that note, this is where this project is really, really important, because this one is putting you beachfront right across the street. Okay, I'm going to share, throughout this video, I'm going to be popping up a bunch of stuff so you can get a feel for it. Amazing location. I would say it's the epicenter of Las Terrenas. It's where you've seen that so many YouTubers have done, like, that YouTubers and just general public, that Las Terrenas sign. That is sitting right there on the beachfront. Okay, so you have access. What I like about it, you have access to two specific experiences in one location. You go left, you can walk to about 20 different restaurants that are all international flavors, French, Italian, American. You have bars there. You have all sorts of really, really cool entertainment related, food, dining related type of things that are all beachfront. That's to the left. If you go to the right, you have that Las Terrenas beautiful untouched beaches feel, and you go to the you go to the right, and you can walk for miles and miles and miles and miles. So what it does, it gives you accessibility with that freedom and bohemian feel in one location. The other thing I like about it, not all of us are ready to invest $1 million or 800,000, especially you Canadians. When you do that conversion, the numbers start to confuse you and scare you, right? So what I like about it is sub 200K. Okay, sub 200K, starting at 185, you're able to get yourself a 1-bedroom, fully furnished, with a beautiful terrace. Most of these units, especially the ones, if you're early to this, most of these are getting beautiful ocean views. Nice large terrace, nice high ceilings. You're able to get yourself into that fully furnished, tax-free, so no property taxes for 15 years, no 3% land transfer tax, and you're also able to get your legal fees encompassed into this purchase. All right. We do have a promotion going on this one right now. Okay, there is a fly and buy incentive that we have in place. We also have some incentives in place for you early bird investors. Okay. And that's one of the advantages of making sure you're on the channel. There's certain projects. I've worked with a lot of developers, guys. There's certain that keep coming back, okay, because the way we deliver it. What we do is when we deliver you a project, we deliver you a project that we know you're going to live, okay, that you're going to say you love where you live, love where you invest. We know that. And because of that, we have happy clients. So when they get into a project, I'm not saying every single person always is happy. Some people you just can't make happy, okay, and you know that. That's the reality of it. Some people will just never be happy. They're chasing happiness and they think a beach is going to make them happy. No, they got to dig inside and they got to find those things. Once you find those things that make you happy and you find that happy place inside yourself, then guess what, guys? This is going to make you happier at that point. So most of our clients are always ecstatic and they love the product they got into. They love the way they were represented. They love everything about the development. This is one of those. Specifically, guys, and this is where we specialize, we want to make sure this meets your needs and wants, and that's what's important. What we want to do is make sure the bases are covered, make sure you're getting into a safe and secure investment, and that's what this one is. Okay, we want to make sure you're getting into the right location. That is so critical because you guys can get strayed, you can get confused. People have so much content out there and they show you stuff and say, oh, Punta Cana, Las Terrenas, Las Terrenas. Guys, you're sitting in a spot that no one's ever going to want to visit because it's just too far off the beaten path. Guys, you're in it. You can't get yourself into positions where someone else is doing the dreaming and you are doing the investing and building it. What I want you guys to do is get yourself into the right locations where the dreaming's already done, the execution is happening. Okay, I don't want you getting in too late, but I definitely don't want you getting in too early. That's a mistake. Don't do that. It's like me pushing penny stocks on you. Don't make that mistake, okay? Leave that to the pros. Leave that to people that have a ton of expendable income, and they're able to take those risks. If you're not one of those people, don't play that game. Play it safe. What's safe? Oceanfront, ocean views, location, 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 working with the right team, working with the right developer that has a proven track record. Okay, these are playing it safe. And that's what this project does. It's bringing you all these things. Another great thing about this one is not just oceanfront. What I love about it, specifically to Las Terrenas, is, guys, they're putting an oceanfront pool on the rooftop. So it's going to be unobstructed views of the ocean. Have a look at the rendering. And you're going to have an oceanfront restaurant up there. What makes it even more strong, okay, this is where you really start to hammer that nail into the wood and say this is solid, is they're putting up paddle courts. Okay, they're going to have covered paddle courts so you can play paddle anytime you want. I think there's going to be 4 or 6 of those that are constructed there. That's going to be called Paddle City. They're going to have a children's play area, which most developments have like a children's kind of area. Most places have a restaurant, but not on a rooftop. Most projects have a pool, but not on a rooftop with unobstructed ocean views. Okay. The part of this that really, really hits a home run for me and smashes that nail into the wood is the conceptual of having the conference facilities right on site. Okay, these conference facilities are going to be able to hold 400 people, and this is why this is a perfect investment. Is going to be able to hold 400 people. So what we don't have in Las Terrenas is a convention center. We're going to have a small convention center, boutique. So what that's going to do for you guys that are hoping to generate that rate of return, you're going to utilize this place for 4 months of the year. You're going to get the hell out of Dodge. You're going to leave Canada when it's January, and you want to be there for those months. Guys, this is perfect because the other times of the year, you're going to have, as Las Terrenas is going through this growing pains and more multinational companies are coming, they're going to be bringing their employees. They're going to be doing conferences. They're going to be doing shows. The convention center is perfectly set up. So you're going to have your conference, your convention happening right next door. You know where you're going to have? You're going to have your accommodations. So it's perfectly set up. There's going to be hotel management on point, so you're not dealing with Airbnb management companies. Sometimes some are good. We do offer that, by the way, to our clients. If you like the way we work, I will connect you with Lila. She will go ahead. She's my manager in Las Terrenas. She'll go ahead and get you guys dialed in. If you're looking for services, we just took on one of our clients in Arena del Sol. They're ecstatic. So if you want to speak, if you're looking for options or want to price out our services relative to others that you're talking to, feel free to reach out. I'll connect you with Lila, and we will get you all the information you need to have us help you do your rental management stuff. Okay, so that's important. Reach out in that regard. However, you don't need to worry about it on this project because they're going to have a centralized management company. They're not necessarily going with the big boys. They're not saying they're bringing in Hilton or Marriott or et cetera, et cetera. There's a strategy behind that as well. Okay, well, it's great to have those big brands behind you and those big brands managing your space. It does come at a cost, so you got to keep that in mind. This one is not doing it. What they're going to be doing is they're going to be bringing on a top tier company. They may not bring on one of those top elite brands because it's going to cost you to do that. Okay, so keep that in mind. What they want this to do is cash flow for you, and they want it to make you money. Okay, they want you to be happy and very, very profitable on this investment. Okay, so that is important. They're still interviewing and speaking to many different companies, but that's going to be in place for you as well. What I'm going to tell you a little bit later is how that cash flow is broken down. So then you'll better understand why this is an advantage to you in this scenario. If you're going to have 300 units, and that's another thing, if you're going to have 300 units, let's bring on a Hilton, let's bring on a Marriott. Let them do what they do best. Okay, different play. If you're going to be more boutique, and that's what Las Terrenas is, and I believe Las Terrenas is all about being boutique. If you're going to bring on boutique, then this is the way to do this one. Okay, so I do understand and appreciate the mindset of what they're doing here. We're going to have in and around 50 rooms. Okay, that's very, very different than having 350 rooms. Keep that in mind. So you're going to have that central management in place, operated like a hotel. Okay, it's going to be operated like a hotel, which is great because Las Terrenas doesn't have this. So it's going to be operated like a hotel where people are able to show up, check in, spend the night, spend 2 weeks, spend a month, whatever it is. The way we break down that revenue, the way the developer's breaking up that revenue is, let's say your room is rented for $200 per night. Okay, for easy math, let's make it even easier. Let's say your one bedroom unit is rented for $100. Okay, 20 of that is going to go to cover the rental management. Okay, to cover the expenses of running that room. The other 80% is yours. That's awesome. Okay, you're not going to get those kind of breakdowns, I believe, when you're going into major international brands. It gets a little more complex because they're larger and it's a different play. Over here, you're going to be able to keep 80% of that revenue that is generated. So if you're generating 100, 80 is yours, 200, 160, the math is straightforward. I like that play. Okay, now what happens if you want to stay in your unit? You're coming down for a month. The way it is set up, that 20% is covering, let me explain that really quick. That 20% is covering towels changed, bed sheets changed, all the toiletries, exactly what you would expect when you go to a hotel room. When you go to a hotel room and you stay there, those expectations, that's a service that's being delivered. So let's say you now go there and you're going to spend a week. What you pay as an owner of that unit, okay, there is a cost associated with it. Keep this in mind. It's no different than if you were doing straight up Airbnb on your own. But it's better because, I believe it's better at least, is because 20%, you're still going to pay 20%. So if the room is renting at that time of year for $100, then you are going to pay $20. What does that include? All your sheets are changed, all your toiletries are coming in, the room is cleaned daily, just like a regular hotel. You don't have to bring anything except your clothes, okay? Because towels changed. No laundry. You're not doing laundry. You're not doing any of these things, okay? Keep that in mind. That is why you would pay that 20%. All day long, I would do that, okay? All day long, I would do that because makes it a truly passive income play. You're not fixing things. The hotel management is taking care of things. When things break, they fix it just like a hotel. Okay, so keep that one in mind. Very important. HOAs, they've based on their forecast, they're going to be at roughly $1,700 a year. So take that math, divide it by 12. That's what you'll be paying monthly. Okay, a little bit over 100. I didn't do the math exactly, but I think you're in and around that. Under $150 a month is going to be your HOAs. But that is covering all common area maintenance. It is covering all of the fixes and repairs that need to be done. It's also covering insurance for common areas. Common areas, let's break that down. What are common areas? Like the roof, the wall between your units. Okay, it's not covering your unit on the inside, but it's covering structural, essentially. Anything structural that affects common areas. Roof is common, walls that are shared are common, exterior walls are common, all these different things are common. So you're covered in that regard. Now, would you get content insurance? I don't know. That would be a decision. We can dive a little bit deeper to see if that makes sense. In this scenario, I don't think so. All concrete building, it's pretty bulletproof. You got rental management, you got you got the hotel management that's watching over your assets, keeping things perfectly in line. Remember, the furnishings are included in the purchase as well, so that's big. So as you can see, for someone that wants to get their slice of paradise, they want to own a place, they want to generate revenue, internationally, they want to make that money, they want to understand how to do it. This is a really awesome play at $185,000. Now keep in mind, we do have those fly and buy discounts. I can explain those to you. We do have other early bird incentives in place. So that being said, guys, you understand why I'm really excited about this project. I think it's just a spectacular play. It puts you oceanfront, puts you in a growing city. It really is an opportunity that I think you should seriously consider. Now, if you want to dive a little bit deeper, you want to get a little more information, send me a direct WhatsApp, 1-519-567-1785. Let me get you that information, okay? I'll connect you with the team. We'll go through it. We'll break it down. We'll go to work for you. Let's see. I'm always striving to get you guys the best price, and that's why we're different. Many other brokers will just say, hey, this is what they're selling for. This is what you got to pay. No. It's not how we do it. We want to make sure you get the best possible price. We want to personalize the service. We want to make sure this goes exactly how you would expect it to go. Okay, guys? So on that note, I hope you guys understand this project. I hope you understand why it is special. You still have the pick of the litter here. It's very early, okay? Very early in this project. So you're able to scoop up some of the best units. I'm going to say 4 units that I think are just unbelievable, and I can't believe we still have them, is the 4 units that are oceanfront, okay? 2nd floor and 3rd floor. You pack your bags, you show up, everything you need is right there, which makes it super convenient, not just for you, but for people that are going to be renting here. Beach, pool, restaurants, everything in one spot. Not too many projects can say that. So what the other component of this, guys, that you want to keep in mind is, and I've said this earlier, but let me remind you, let's say you find the unit that you want, okay? And one of these 4, this is the other thing I was alluding to, one of these 4 units, I can't believe they're available. They're higher in price, $280,000 to $285,000, but they're oceanfront, 2 terraces. You're going to have a terrace on the front, right on the ocean. You're going to have one on the side, so you can look out to the side and see the ocean. On the front, you're going to see the ocean. We have the 2nd floor, 2 units right in front, and 3rd floor, 2 units right in the front. Amazing units, guys. These are a no-brainer oceanfront unit that is available at the price range of $280 to $290. So reach out, we'll get you that info as well. But what happens when you like this? If you say, hey, Cash, your first step is you're going to reach out. We're going to send you the inventory. We're going to show you exactly what we have available. We're going to show you the prices. The next step is, guys, then you're going to go ahead and make a decision on which one you like. Once you make that decision, we're going to connect the legal team. Remember, legal fees are included here. So we're going to connect our friends at Guzman Ariza, Vladimir Alonso. He's going to go ahead. He's going to dial into that group chat. He's going to start chatting with you. He's going to explain. You're going to ask all those, you're going to layer deeper into it, and he's going to explain all those questions you have. At that point, what we are doing is you have 10 days reservation fee free. Okay, within those 10 days roughly is when we would get you would get the due diligence. You work with Vladimir, everything will get finalized. When you make that promise of sale signature, your first payment of 25% would be due. Okay, the first payment of 25% would be due. That is something that I believe is, that first step in the right direction. That's the first step when you say, you have that feeling, and I've experienced it, the first feeling where you say, hey, you know what, we did it. We're in. We're going for it. You got your legal representation. What they're going to do is remind you when other payments are due throughout the process, okay? They're going to remind you of that. They're going to They're going to continue to, when, at different phases of construction, we'll share all that with you. At certain phases of construction, a certain percentage will be due. Okay, and I like that. It's tied to construction, and that's how I always like my projects. I don't like it tied to dates. I like it tied to construction. So there is a milestone that's achieved. Boom. Here's the payment. So we have multiple milestones. I think we have 4 or 5 different milestones. The project is set for completion in 2029. A lot of the smaller milestones, which are related to land preparation, well, promise to sale number 1, land preparation, going vertical, all concrete structures, which you feel really good about. Hurricanes, stuff like that do not affect these. It's going to be hurricane-proof windows. All those things are in place. Once you get 1 year out from here, you've made a couple payments. The next payment would be due a year from then. That's when they finish the obras gris, it's called. That is, the concrete structure is finished, primed, ready for the finishing phases. So you're able to scale this out over the next 3 years, and that is going to make this very, very affordable. And you're priced right, you're located right. As Las Terrenas, these growing pains happen, and this place keeps growing and growing and growing. Guys, your investment is going to keep growing. The key thing here is we're not speculating, we're not playing Russian roulette. We know this is going to rent because of its location. It's going to rent. So you're not playing Russian roulette. What I don't want you doing is, like I had that Las Terrenas Miches talk. I don't want you thinking any of this is a get rich quick scheme. That is not how you want to play this market. And you don't want to buy in to that rhetoric. If someone's out there pitching, you're going to buy this, you're going to make, you're going to double your money, you're going to rent this thing for, they're creating 20, 25, 30% returns. Don't buy into that. Play it conservative, guys. This is not the time in the world where you look for get rich. I can't even say it, let alone get rich quick schemes. That's not what you want to be doing when you're investing in the Dominican Republic. This is not. There's a few reasons why this market is really taking off, because more and more investors are not looking at this market as speculation. Hey, let me buy and I'm going to flip it. Let me buy it and I'm going to flip it. Speculation comes with risk. If you have the extra money and you can weather those storms and you have a strong stomach, go for it. I myself am one of those people. I can weather the storm. I got a strong stomach, but many of my investors, they're everyday mom and pop type of investors, and that's not what they want to do. So I stray away from you guys looking at the market in that regard. If you are one of those, you got a strong stomach, you're used to it, you can weather the storm. What you don't want to do is speculate on your last dollar. Okay, if you're speculating with your last dollar, you can set yourself up for failure. Sure, can you make a ton of money? Of course you can, but that comes with risk. What I'm seeing in the Dominican Republic overall, in general, and I don't know an exact percent, but let me toss out a percentage. Let's say, like, at least in my microcosm of this, I would say about 85 to 90% of my investors are not speculators. They're buying it for the right reasons. They're buying it because they want to own real estate here. Why do they want to own real estate here? Not because they want to sell it. They want to use it one day. Okay, they want to use it one day when they retire, or they want to move here. They might want to move here right now, or they might want to move here in a couple of years when they retire. They might want to be here 6 months a year, or they might want to be here full time. Okay, so these are people that want to utilize this real estate. It is creating long-term wealth for their family because it's going to stay generational. It's going to stick with the kids. If retiring parents are buying it, it's going to stick with their children and their children. So that's the kind of mindset you're seeing. People want what is sitting behind it. They don't want to live in the cold anymore. They don't want to live in political chaos. They don't want to live in a bipolarized type of political world, and that's what exists in North America right now. You love or hate something. There's nothing in between. They don't want to live in the inflationary type of world that exists over things. When I go back to Windsor, and some things just cost so much money. For example, a steak. That one really hits me. Some things are a little bit cheaper. However, a lot of things are just wildly expensive. Like having a steak there, having a steak here, man, it's awesome, like $19 or something at some of the top restaurants. 19, 20, 25 bucks, something like that. But over there, wow, you're 60, 70 bucks. But the overall cost of real estate in North America is through the roof. The cost of healthcare, and that's one of the big things. Healthcare is just out of control. You can't even get insured. Cost of insurance is crazy. Taxes are just some states are great, but overall in Canada, it's just it's crazy. And overall the mentality and the mindset is just negative. So people don't want that anymore. They don't want to live like that anymore. That's yesterday's newspaper. Throw it out. And what we're doing is providing you with opportunities in a different mindset. And the ability to say you've diversified, the ability to set your kids up, whether your kids are 50 years old or whether your kids are 5 years old, set them up for a successful future in a market that is growing, in a place that is beautiful, a place that you don't have to experience those winters. You know, only time, to be honest, that I want to experience a cold or winter is if I'm putting on skis. If I'm not putting on skis, and I'm not going into a cabin to drink hot chocolate with marshmallows, I'm not doing it. I don't want to be in the cold, and I don't think you should either. I don't know what would ever be fun about it, because it comes at a cost of your physical health. It comes at a cost of, you know, moving snow. It comes at a cost at one of our restaurants right now. We have pipes bursting. It comes at all these different costs, which are just ridiculous. Why live like that? I don't understand it unless you're putting on a pair of skis and going skiing. Don't do it. Come here. You'll enjoy yourself more. Just like these guys out here. Have a look at these guys. Like that's what life is about. They're out there on the boat, you know, they're visiting, they're going out to just enjoying life. And that becomes a way you live once you understand you can live like. They think they're here for 7 days and they got to go back to the cold. Screw that. You're here with me because we're going to get you over here. We're going to make this a spot that you spend a lot of your time. We're going to make this a spot where you invest and where you enjoy it and you don't speculate, you don't take risks, and you go into the right projects. All right, guys. Hope this video, sorry, is a long one. I kind of touched on a lot of different topics. Feel free, send me a WhatsApp whenever you want, okay? WhatsApp 519-567-1785. Myself, my team, if you're talking about Las Terrenas, we'll dial Lila O'Brien. If you're talking about Cap Cana, Punta Cana, we're going to dial Carlos. And Carlos is really stepping up. He really wants to understand all of my markets. So he's really going to be able to assist you a lot. Lila dives deep into Las Terrenas, Bri as well. Okay, we have a small boutique team of like-minded people. I don't like when it's like a ton of people. We got to keep it, you know, we got to keep it small. We got to keep it tight because what we are doing is a little bit different, sometimes a lot different than what everybody else is doing. In the meantime, guys, send me that WhatsApp. Let's dial you in. Let's get you this information. If you're looking for other opportunities, please go ahead and send me a direct WhatsApp. I, myself, or my team is going to assist you. Please remember as well, we just put up a new website. We knew our website was kind of sucking. So if you've been with me for the last 5 years and been watching, you know the website kind of sucked. No secret, but now it's awesome. Okay, you can type right in there, hey, you know, 200K, Las Terrenas, 2-bedroom. It'll pull it right up for you. Okay, so really, really cool site, really advanced, and you're going to appreciate that experience. So please go check it out if you can. In the meantime, guys, try to love where you live, try to stay warm, and try to keep the dream alive. And we'll align you. Make sure you're making the right decisions with the right product, and then walk you through the entire process from A to Z and beyond. Okay, so that's it for this one, guys. Please remember, love where you live. Hit that notification button, and look forward to seeing you over here in paradise with me. Talk to you soon.